If you go on howlongtobeat.com, it says Sonic the Hedgehog takes, on average, 2.5 hours to complete. But does it? There are a ton of reasons these numbers might be biased, mostly non-maliciously, but biased nonetheless. So, I played Sonic the Hedgehog for the first time in over 20 years to test. How long does it actually take to complete? Completion in this case is fairly simple to define since Sonic is a fairly simple game. Releasing in 1991, back when a 2D platformer that encourages you to go fast then punishes you for doing so could be the best-selling game that year, Sonic has one optional quest. Collect the 6 Chaos Emeralds from the special stages, accessed by having 50 or more rings at the end of a level. The main quest is beat every level up to and including the final boss. The footage you see is from me playing this via the Sonic Origins release on Classic mode. There is an Anniversary mode available which offers widescreen support, unlimited lives, and a way to retry the special stages. I will be ignoring that. Another bias in the times on How Long to Beat can be from whether people choose to use save states, rewinds, or easier modes in re-releases of old school games. I'm going to play this how you had to play it on release, although with an Xbox controller and a modern monitor, rather than a Mega Drive controller and a CRT TV. So let's start with the most important part, reading the manual. Can't rely on in-game info, but this will have come with the game at the time. So what can we glean from it? That Sonic is one tough dude, that his speed comes from his power sneakers, which honestly, wish I didn't know that. Preferred it when he was a freakish speed demon. We also get an overview of each zone, including how the special zones work before we even get to them. Up blocks increase the speed the maze rotates, down blocks decrease it, and R blocks reverse the rotation. Gold blocks end the level, so avoid them, and try to grab the Chaos Emerald at the centre of the zone. Seems we're set. That's 6 minutes well spent that I'll be including in the final time. Here we go. The game starts in Green Hill Zone. There are 6 main zones consisting of 3 acts each before ending with the final zone creatively named Final Zone. Green Hill Zone Act 1 goes by easy enough, as does Act 2 and Act 3. It's basically the tutorial zone though, so it's to be expected. Hence why the first 2 special zones also go to plan, though with a couple worrying moments. Oh, can't get cocky even this early as we head into Marble Zone. And to be honest, there's really not much to say about it. Banging music as always, but it's barely an increase in difficulty compared to Green Hill Zone, so all 3 acts go by without me losing any lives and being able to enter and beat the special zone twice. Though this time it was close enough for me to panic at times. No. No, not that fast. Oh, I can't believe how sweaty my hands got from that. Thankfully, as panic-inducing as it was, I still managed to get 4 of the 6 Chaos Emeralds first try. God, we've already got 4. An easy game. I am being facetious here though, because I know what awaits me in the 4th zone. Though it's still notable I have double-digit lives, something I don't remember ever happening as a kid, alongside 4 continues, which sets me up well for Zone 3, Spring Yard Zone. And I needed to be set up well, because Spring Yard Zone is a jump up in difficulty. I lost more lives in this zone than either of the previous zones. 1. I lost 1 life. And it was a great example of my biggest issue with this game. It encourages you to go fast, yet frequently punishes you for doing so. Hey look, I got punished for going fast. This, alongside requiring 50 rings to enter the special zones, mean it's optimal to slow down and take your time rather than go fast. Be patient. Have discipline, as I frequently told myself before getting hit by an enemy I couldn't possibly anticipate. Patient. Discipline. What more do you need? And that patience came in handy for the next 2 special zones, which as the final zones before getting all the Chaos Emeralds must surely be especially difficult, right? Right? Alright, this one's probably going to be particularly fiendish. Or maybe this will be one of the easier ones. Oh, that's okay, it's secrecy. Okay. This is the final one, so this should be the hardest. Oh. Go on. Oh my god. Ow. Sonic got them all. in as few attempts as possible as well. This game is nowhere near as difficult as I remember it being. Okay, look, this has definitely been easier than expected so far. I've managed to get all the Chaos Emeralds and it's not even the halfway point yet. I've lost 1 life, and I have 13 lives and 4 continues for an effective total of 25. But that's all about to change. We have reached the zone I could never beat as a kid. The one that I would feel lucky if I even got to the end boss of, but could never quite overcome. The zone infamous for introducing the panic-inducing music you are likely already familiar with even if you've never played a Sonic game. It's time to tackle the Labyrinth Zone. Labyrinth Zone is and that's Act 1 done. Okay, so just because I didn't lose any lives on the first act doesn't mean it isn't a steep increase in difficulty with completely new enemies and traps clearly designed to catch you off guard. There are platforms that rise into spikes, elevators that rise into spikes, sea urchins that throw spikes. It's very spike based. One could even say that it's a spike in difficulty. And one should say that, because it's a very good pun, and I will hear no counter-arguments. And of course, all of that is compounded in difficulty by being underwater all the time, so constantly needing to get to the next air bubble before you drown. This is probably why in Act 2 I got caught off guard and lost 1 life. Just the one. No prizes for guessing what caused it. But Act 3, now we're in trouble. This is the one I couldn't beat as a kid. How many lives did I lose on the way to the final boss? None. How many attempts did the final boss take? The one I could never beat? Let's find out. Patience. Discipline. Patience. Discipline. Patience. Discipline. Oh my god, that fit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I did cut it a little close. But again, I can't believe I just did that first try. Look, at this point, I'm just gonna say try chanting patience, discipline to yourself whenever you're trying to beat a difficult section of a game, because apparently it's guaranteed to trivialize it. It's only taken me an hour to get past the 4th zone of 6. If I don't end up having to redo this run, I'm going to beat the completion time by some margin. And that's unlikely to happen since it's time for a massive decrease in difficulty as we enter my favourite zone in this playthrough. This is going to be a very anticlimactic. Oh, Starlight Zone! I forgot about this one. Starlight Zone is such a breath of fresh air after the claustrophobic nightmare of Labyrinth Zone. Even the music is light and breezy. It's a bit too easy, but that's only really an issue because it comes after Labyrinth Zone. Plus, whilst it's not ideal, it does end up feeling like a reward for getting this far, and it has my favourite mechanic in the game. These platforms with a spike ball allow you to reach higher areas in a novel way, and are introduced in a relatively safe manner as part of the levels in Starlight Zone so you can get used to them, and then becomes the mechanic you use to beat the zone's end boss. I love when games do stuff like that. A nice little tutorial plus test in its own section of the game. As I say, a breath of fresh air after Labyrinth Zone and before Scrap Brain Zone. Why is it called Scrap Brain Zone? I have no idea. I was curious enough I googled it and there's no real consensus. But one theory I liked is the idea it's the factory where Robotnik brings his ideas to life. His brain, as it were. But Sonic's meddling means it's falling apart and becoming scrap. Scrap Brain Zone. Interesting stuff. Anyway, I f***ing hate this zone. It's complete bullshit and difficult for difficulty's sake. Multiple overlapping instances of unforeseeable enemies and traps throughout every act, and when you think it can't get any worse, you get to Act 3 and surprise, it's actually Labyrinth Zone Act 4. I died 6 times in the process of completing this zone, and was the first instance of me feeling like the game was as difficult as I remember. God, I never thought I would say that the design of some of the original Sonic the Hedgehog levels are terrible. But my god, like, how are you meant to predict those saws? Like, that was insane. And yet, despite it all, Scrap Brain Zone only took me 10 minutes. Unless the final zone takes me 2 hours, I am going to absolutely smash the estimated completion time and go counter to everything I started making this video for. Defeating Robotnik in the final zone involves avoiding this crushing machine and hitting the piston he's hiding in 8 times to blow it up. In between each crushing attempt, you have to avoid some electric orbs, which is where the real difficulty comes from. The crushing can be avoided by just moving to the side, but the electric orbs have a mild homing effect and are not at all generous with the hit radius. On top of this, you're not given any rings, so any hit kills you. The ungenerous hit radius caused one of my deaths, and getting caught on the geometry of the electric orb generator caused another. Oh, hit the electric ball generator. And that's it. That was all of my deaths on the final zone. Total playtime, including time spent reading the manual, 1 hour 25 minutes. Over an hour quicker than the average completion time. My expectation going into this was I would do a run where I get about 3 Chaos Emeralds but find some of the special stages a bit too tricky and lose all my lives in Labyrinth Zone. Next run I'd get 4 to 5 Chaos Emeralds and maybe get past Labyrinth Zone but still fall short. And then it'd only be 1 or 2 more runs to finish the game, totaling somewhere around 5 hours. I even thought I might have to give up and use save states or unlimited lives. Instead, I did it first try. I never beat it as a kid and don't remember getting more than 2 Chaos Emeralds. To get all the Chaos Emeralds and beat the game on my first attempt without using save states and with relative ease is kinda mind-blowing to me. The special zones made me sweat a bit, but again, didn't fail a single one. This video just feels like a flex at this point. I don't really know what to think of this. I'm genuinely changed by it. I had memories of this game being completely impossible as a kid, but no, I was just a child. It was beatable. Beatable in 85 minutes even. Those childhood memories aren't of a kid facing the impossible but never giving up. It's of a kid who just wasn't good enough to win but kept trying anyway. That's not bad per se, it's just different. I might avoid playing games from my childhood now to avoid this feeling. Except it would make total sense to now play Sonic 2, which I also played as a kid, so oh well, let's keep destroying my childhood. Screw kid me, he sucked. Final verdict, How Long to Beat is wrong about Sonic the Hedgehog. It actually only takes 85 minutes to beat even without save states. So long as you have some memories of playing it as a kid. And your experience with 2D platformers in general. And repeat to yourself, patience, discipline. I really hope Sonic 2 is as hard as I remember, because I don't want this series to inadvertently become me showing off and saying get good to people as I easily complete these games under time. And if it does, I'll make sure to throw in something ridiculous like Myst or Sekiro or that Call of Duty with the impossible final mission. Here's hoping it doesn't come to that, and I'll see you next time.
Remember, patience, discipline.